Jay Gruden addressed the Instagram hubbub with Deshaun Jackson, but you look at the coaching in that game, okay? The play that stood out to me, and I was talking to Keith about this when I was blogging about the game, Mike Evans was left one-on-one with Perry Riley Jr. How does that happen on the back end? If you're Jim Haslett, how do you design a defense where Mike Evans is left one-on-one with a linebacker? So that leads to my question with, do any of the coaches, we're talking about Jay Gruden, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, special teams, missed 2 field goals from Kai Forbath, do any of those guys deserve to be retained for next season? Or who are you keeping? I mean, are you keeping Jay Gruden? I know but honestly, they hired a new special teams coach to make it better. Has it been better? Jim has it. You cannot have a linebacker one-on-one with Mike Evans. That's like, to me, a fireable offense. How does that happen?
Well, the explanation for that was that Perry Riley was actually supposed to blitz the A-gap on that play, and that Keenan Robinson was supposed to drop back, and he wouldn't have had to cover Mike Evans for very long had the uncovered A-gap blitz gotten home. As far as answering the question about the coaches, though, you brought in – part of the reason the Redskins are so bad is because they constantly churn. They're always trying to restart back from the beginning, and then they're – I don't think you can get rid of Gruden, McVay, or Katuka after this season. It hasn't been good, but you got to give the guys a chance to teach, to find out who can play for them and who can't.
Right.
And to pull the plug after 1 year, unless you're so bad that it's never going to work and that everybody in the locker room's already lost confidence in you. That's when you pull the plug right away. But other than that, you got to let them have a chance to build.
I'm going to throw that to you, Dan, but let me give you an example of the Cleveland Browns. Mike Pettin his first year, Kyle Shanahan coordinator first year with Brian Hoyer as a quarterback. Yeah. No Josh Gordon. Ben Tate's been hurt. Look what they're doing. So it can be done.
Let's wait until the end of the season before we crown the Cleveland Browns.
No, okay, but did anyone expect them to have the record they have now at this point in the season, regardless? I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Probably not. But they're like 6-4.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not.
What are the Redskins? 3-7.
Okay, they're.
Who has more talent? Who has more talent on the up and down the roster?
Well,
Who has more playmakers?
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know the answer to that question.
You're saying that Andrew Hawkins and their wide receivers are as good as Deshaun Jackson and Bahir Garcon?
Yeah,
I
don't know
but
the answer
Cleveland
to that
does have a better.
Do they have Alfred Morris?
Cleveland does have more talent on defense than the Redskins have.
Okay.
But part of what Mike Pettin had to try to do was change the culture, and that's kind of what Jay Gruden's trying to do here, and it's not working very well right now.
Scott, what are your thoughts on the coaching staff?
I mean, if you look at the basic numbers, points per game, 22nd, opponents' points per game, 24th. We've talked about how terrible the special teams are all year. I mean, none of these coaches deserve to come back. But I think to Keith's point, I think the 3 that he mentioned, Gruden, McVay, and Katuka, should come back for purpose of continuity. If there's one guy we have a track record that at this point of knowing that he is a liability. I mean, Mike Evans providing 207 more reasons on Sunday why Jim Haslett should not be here next year. I think he's got to be gone, and you got to rebuild around the guys that you have.
But here's a more general question. In terms of the front office and Bruce Allen, how much do you put on him for giving Haslett not enough talent in the back end? We know they don't have it in the back end. Their offensive line has been a disaster. Now that Trent Williams is hurt, who knows what's going to happen? Is that on him?
Yeah. I think absolutely he has to. I think Bruce Allen has to own the majority of what's going on right now. I think and it's not even. I mean, people talk about Deshaun Jackson as the great success story, and you're over here singing his praises too. He's played well, but I think is that what they needed? Pierre Garçon had a record-setting season last year.
He doesn't stretch the field the way Deshaun does.
Well, how is Deshaun Jackson helping that record? Then?
Well, it wasn't his fault that he was overthrown 3 times by Robert Griffin III.
I'm just saying
there
were so many needs on this team, and wide receiver to me was not near the top of the list.
Offensive line certainly.
And the guard that they brought in from Cleveland has not been good. The Ryan Clark thing is not working out. I mean, I think that Bruce Allen right now has to own this as much as anyone in that organization.
Yeah, and also the money they spent on Arakpo.
Yeah, there you go. Well, but you're not. But Dan Snyder has never had a track record of getting a real GM in here, and I don't know if that's going to change under his ownership because he wants a guy who's going to be the rah-rah guy and play golf with him. Is he going to get a guy that's a real GM? I mean, do you foresee that happening?
And he's still going to want the guy who makes the big splash.
Yeah.
I mean, Deshaun Jackson's going to sell tickets like an offensive lineman is not. But then you get to 3-7, and you realize that even Deshaun Jackson on a losing team is going to lead to scenes like we saw Sunday.
I mean, when you see Robert Griffin overthrow the fastest player in the NFL, I mean, what are you thinking to yourself? I mean, I'm not saying Deshaun Jackson justified in posting that Instagram garbage, but still, I mean, he was wide open on 3 plays. You got to hit at least one of those that could change the tenor of the game. Anyway.
Okay, well, you know what? I don't disagree with you, but it's not like that doesn't happen all over the league. We saw what Teddy Bridgewater did. He overthrew.
But RG3 is not Teddy Bridgewater. He's not a rookie quarterback. That's the difference.